Hey everyone, and welcome to the new video today, and today we are going to be talking about everything we know so far in the next chapter of the Mass Effect series. For everybody's sake, I will be calling it Mass Effect 4 going forward, as it's just easier to say. So, let's start off with the story. We can start off by narrowing down the canon entry point for the next Mass Effect universe going forward. Now, for the rest of this video, I'm going to be going over spoilers for both the original trilogy and Andromeda's story, so if you don't want it spoiled, now's your time to finish those two games and come back here. So, let's start off. In Mass Effect 3, the game has 4 canon endings: Destroy, Synthesis, Reject, and Control. And by going off of the teaser trailer shown back in the Game Awards from December 2020, we can rule out the fact that Mass Effect 4 simply cannot follow some of these endings. So, we can start off by ruling out Synthesis. In this ending, all organic life is merged with synthetics, creating organics with green eyes, glowing skin, and synthetics becoming alive. In the teaser trailer shown at the Game Awards, we have a first look at an older Liara, a companion from the first 3 games. As we can see here, she actually doesn't have green eyes, glowing skin, and slightly green skin, etc., so we can definitely rule out the Synthesis ending. We can also see Liara walking over a dead Reaper in the teaser trailer, so we can most likely rule out the Control ending. In the Control ending of Mass Effect 3, the Reaper's harvest is stopped, the mass relay system is rebuilt by the Reapers, and all synthetic life survives along with humans, etc. As we can see a dead Reaper, this most likely isn't the canon ending, so we can definitely rule out Synthesis and Control so far. And since Liara is still alive in the teaser trailer, we can safely rule out the Reject ending, where the galaxy is destroyed by the Reapers and all companions and characters die. And as I just stated, since Liara is definitely alive, this is now also ruling out the Reject ending. So, this leaves us with one possible ending for Mass Effect 4's story to continue from, the Destroy ending. In this ending, all synthetic life is destroyed, bringing the Reaper's assault on the Milky Way galaxy to an end. This isn't done without sacrifice, however, as both the Geth and ED are all destroyed in the process. The Destroy ending was most players' final choice, including mine. It was my first choice on both my first and second playthrough, so it makes the most sense to continue from the Destroy ending from Mass Effect 3 for the next chapter in the Mass Effect series. Next up, we go on to the characters and species returning in the next Mass Effect. In the teaser trailer, we can see Liara, so obviously the Asari are returning. In the background of the teaser trailer, we can also see a Krogan, Solarian, and possibly a human who's wearing armour that looks very similar to Ryder's, the main protagonist from Mass Effect Andromeda. We also have a poster for the next game which includes a shot of possibly the new main ship, as well as a crater and a planet, or a moon perhaps, which is oddly in the shape of a Geth head. So we could also see the return of the Geth, which could also mean the return of the Quarians as well, as they've always been very closely linked to the Geth. In another piece of concept art with a sunset in it, we can also see another shot of a Solarian and a Drell, and possibly an Angarian, a species from Andromeda as well. Going back to the ship from the poster, we can see that it says SFX on it for its designation. Another example of past designations would obviously be the SR-1 and the SR-2 for the Normandy from the original trilogy of Mass Effect, and then of course the Tempest from Andromeda. The SFX definitely looks suspiciously like the new main crew quarters ship. This is obviously in my opinion, this hasn't been confirmed by BioWare just yet. Going back to the teaser trailer, we also have a look at a new ground planet-based vehicle, the Mudskipper XT-8. It's either XT-8 or XTB, it's sort of hard to see from the trailer and concept art. However, this new vehicle could be similar in purpose to the drop shuttles from the original trilogy and Andromeda. The Mudskipper has been shown off in concept art, as previously stated. Next up is the time period Mass Effect 4 will be set in. In the teaser trailer, we can see not only the Milky Way galaxy, but the Andromeda galaxy as well. Michael Gamble, a developer at BioWare, said this was intentional. Could this mean that we could be travelling to both Andromeda and the Milky Way galaxies together in one game? Personally, I really hope so. I think that would be really cool, because then we could see a sort of natural progression of both the original trilogy's planets as well as Andromeda's planets. In the teaser trailer, we can also see and hear the voice line Godspeed, taken from Andromeda when he first departs in the Tempest. Mike Gamble also said this was intentional as well. So, BioWare are 100% trying to tie in both stories from the original trilogy as well as Andromeda. If this is the case, then this could mean that Mass Effect 4 could be set over or around 600 years in the future from the original trilogy. Another piece of evidence which could allude to this as well is the fact that Liara looks much older in this trailer, showing wrinkles on her skin, perhaps showing that she is now an Asari matriarch, obviously being older and wiser. During the events of Andromeda, she would be around 700 years old. I personally agree with a lot of people in the Mass Effect community that the next chapter in the Mass Effect series could take place in the same timeline as Andromeda, which took place around 634 years after Mass Effect 2's ending. Next up, we're going to talk about possible protagonists. Could we be playing as Ryder, a completely new character, or could we be seeing the return of Commander Shepard? If BioWare wanted to go the fanservice route, then they'd most likely pick Commander Shepard. They could go with a clone, or the fact that Shepard has been in cryosleep this entire time, just like the characters from Andromeda. I personally don't see Ryder returning as a playable character, as Andromeda was universally disliked for several reasons. This also goes against the fact that, as I previously stated, there is a character in the teaser trailer who looks a lot like Ryder. He has like a similar armour as I stated earlier. Personally, I'd like to see a completely new character for Mass Effect 4, as in a playable protagonist. This would mean a refreshing new experience for both new and veteran players alike. I've also heard many speculations regarding an Asari main character, which could be Shepard and Liara's child. Personally, I don't see this happening, as a lot of players did not romance Liara in the original trilogy, and I don't think BioWare would want to go against those players that didn't romance Liara, say for example people who romanced Jack or Ashley or Tali. It just wouldn't really make sense if your character romanced one of them and then suddenly in the new game there's a child between Liara and Shepard. It doesn't really make much sense. I also don't know how they're going to tie in the extended cut ending where, again spoilers, but it's revealed that Commander Shepard is seemingly alive as he draws breath under the rubble of the collapsed buildings and Reapers. Next up, I'd like to talk about the technical aspects of the game. All three of the original games were built using the Unreal Engine. This includes the Legendary Collection remasters as well. However, games like Anthem, Dragon Age Inquisition, as well as Mass Effect Andromeda were all built using EA's Frostbite engine, mainly used for games made by DICE such as Star Wars Battlefront and Battlefield. This engine caused a lot of issues internally for developers at EA, especially for BioWare whilst in the development of Andromeda, so I don't think BioWare will want to return to using Frostbite anytime soon. Back in mid-2021, EA posted a job listing for a technical director who had experience with the Unreal Engine to work on the next Mass Effect game. Multiple sources this year have also confirmed that BioWare are definitely investigating and looking into using the Unreal 5 engine for Mass Effect 4. Although this isn't 100% confirmed by BioWare yet, this is hopefully great news, as this could mean that Mass Effect 4's development could go more smoothly than Andromeda's, and maybe BioWare could use or reuse or rebuild assets used in the Legendary Edition of the original trilogy, which was made using a modified version of the Unreal 3 engine. I mean, personally, I just hope they fix the facial animations and expressions, and I just really hope that they get that aspect of the game right this time, because I have no doubt that any Mass Effect game that will release will look gorgeous, because you could still argue that Andromeda still looks amazing. It's just obviously things like the story and the facial animations that just really didn't hit home. Next up are the returning employees and developers working on the next game. Back in 2020, during the time around the release of the teaser trailer and the Game Awards, we had confirmation for both new and returning employees who will be working on the next Mass Effect game. Since Andromeda and Anthem, BioWare should realise that a lot of fans are worried about the future of the series, so BioWare wanted to make sure that we knew that some familiar names were returning. First off, we have a returning employee called Dusty Everman, who is one of the key people responsible for bringing the original Normandy to life, so doing the exterior, interior, how it sounded, things like that. Then we have Parrish Lee, who was the cinematic director for the original trilogy, who is now returning for the next Mass Effect game. Another returning employee is Brennan Holmes, who worked on the gameplay systems from the original trilogy, who again will be returning for Mass Effect 4. We also have Derek Watts, who was the art director on the original trilogy, who will be returning as well. We also have some more exciting news that a fellow content creator and YouTuber, Michael Tucker, will be working on the new game. This is also great news going forward, as for Mass Effect 4 we could hopefully see the return of just a really well polished game and return of the standard of storytelling seen in the original trilogy. Again, I would like to stress that I really enjoyed Andromeda, but things like the overall finish of the game, the polish, the facial animations, the fact that we never got the Quarian Arc DLC, things like that. I just really want a well polished, finished game, and I think the fact that BioWare are pulling back these, are bringing back these old developers is just really good news, and it gets me really hopeful for the next game, as well as Dragon Age as well. Finally, up next we have the release date. Now, since the teaser trailer dropped in 2020, we can most likely guess that Mass Effect 4 is probably around 4 to 5 years away, as this is sort of standard time for most games in development. This is mainly because we know that BioWare's next game, Dragon Age, whatever the next Dragon Age game will be called, is their main priority at the moment. Usually, BioWare releases games every 2 to 3 years. So if I had to guess and speculate, I'd imagine that Dragon Age will release in 2023, with Mass Effect 4 launching in 2024 or 2025. Honestly, I'm just hoping that the next game is good, well polished, and hits the same emotional beats as the original games, because if you really play the original trilogy, you get really attached to those characters: Liara, Tali, Edie, Joker, etc., Garrus, Jack, Ashley, the list goes on, and it's one of the only games that's actually got me invested in those characters, and I think BioWare really needs to focus on basically doing that again, but with a new cast of characters, really making a emotional connection. Anyway, that's everything we know so far regarding the next Mass Effect game. If you want more videos on Mass Effect and gaming in general, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Anyway everyone, goodbye and thank you for watching.